Hey, I think I've clicked.
Who with, the mother or the daughter? I want to have a word with you two after I've inspected my stuff. And you're here to welcome the holiday makers. Look at the style of your boat. Give a nice big smile.
Hello everyone, welcome to MotorHome BB. My name is Alan and today we're doing a really cute one. It's Stephan Lewis who played Blakey and On the Buses. I hate you, butler. He was born in All Saints Hospital in London and he did all sorts of jobs. He was an electrician's mate, a plumber, and there was no theatrical beginning to him at that point. He joined the theatre's workshop under Joan Littlewood. She was running it and that's what began his career as an actor. He suddenly realised he liked treading the boards. He was actually a very good script writer and he wrote a script called Sparrows with an E, Can't Fly, and it was about a Cockney society, you know, London people, and it was aided by Joan Littlewood, but it eventually became a full feature film and he himself wrote most of the script for it. So he was a very talented guy. Joan Littlewood wanted the film to have Barbara Windsor in it, and I think it was the director said no, and there was a bit of a battle going on, but eventually she did star in the film, and it was a comedy, Cockney comedy, and very successful indeed. But the part of Blakey I think was probably his most well-known part. It was 1969 and he got the part of the inspector, and that was it. As I said, it was going to be a small part, but he became one of the leads in it, didn't he? Definitely. Without Blakey and without the inspector, the comedy would never be the same, would it? There were 74 episodes of On the Buses and 3 feature films, and he was in them all. The first one was On the Buses 1971, Mutiny on the Buses, and then Holiday on the Buses. The very first one in 1971, it was a box office smash, and it actually beat the James Bond film at the time in the box offices, which I think was Diamonds Are Forever, but I could be wrong. If I am, I'll put it on screen. He was slightly typecast as Blakey, but I mean, you know, it didn't hold him back. He sort of embraced it, and he got a lot more work, and namely, of course, Last of the Summer Wine. He played Smiler, and of course the reason he was called Smiler is because he had that grimace, didn't he? You know, which was perfect in both roles, especially as Blakey Blake, and and Smiler in Last of the Summer Wine, which is a great comedy, and he did both justice. He did eventually have to give up Last of the Summer Wine because of ill health, which was a shame, but he had a good run at it. There's too many films to mention. I mean, he was in all sorts. He was in, as I said, Sparrows Can't Sing, The Staircase 1966, Some Will, Some Won't 1969, Personal Services Out of Order 1971. He appeared in The Cray Twins 1990, and he was also in the sex comedy The Adventure of a Taxi Driver. So he did do a lot, and The Adventures of a Plumber's Mate, I forgot that one, a classic. Stephan was born in Poplar, East London on December the 17th, 1926. His first job was as a merchant seaman. He reconsidered his vocation after he was persuaded to go to a performance of the experimental theatre workshop group run by the brilliant left-wing director Joan Littlewood. After the performance, the audience was invited onto the stage to meet the cast and discuss the play. Lewis enjoyed the experience, and after turning up to others, he got to know the workshop well. Eventually, Littlewood, perhaps exasperated by Lewis's suggested stage directions, said, "You're so blooming clever, why don't you do it yourself?" He agreed the audition and was offered the part. After a successful run, Littlewood asked Lewis if he would like to stick with the company, but he said he wanted to return to the sea. The director persuaded him to stay on the stage, and he made his West End debut in Brendan Behan's The Hostage, 1958. In 1960, he wrote Sparrows Can't Sing, a play about life in the East End that relied heavily on the actors' improvisations. It was a success and was released as the film Sparrows Can't Sing in 1963. The cast that included Barbara Windsor and Roy Kinnear, even though their talents could not sell the social realistic dialogue to the global audience. The New York Times sniffed, "This isn't a picture for anyone with a logical mind or an ear for language. The gabble of the Cockney spoken here is incomprehensible as the English reasoning of those who speak it." It was the first English language film to be released in the USA with subtitles. In 1969, he landed the role in a new series called On the Buses. Undoubtedly rude and crude, it offered genuinely witty reflections on the nature of the 1970s class conflict. In the world of On the Buses, workers were constantly on strike and after more money. Managerial characters such as Lewis Blakey were exploitive snobs who thought they had the authority just because they wore a badge. It was plain where the audience sympathies were supposed to lie. Many was the time that the bus hilariously ran over Blakey's foot, or a bucket of water was tipped over his head. The cry of, "I hate you, butler," was born of impotent rage. Although Varney, the actor, was Lewis's senior, it was still Varney's character Reg that got all the crumpets. Lewis was only in his early 40s when he took the role of Blakey, but playing aged authority figures became his stock in trade. Stephan also played a new character in the long-running BBC series Last of the Summer Wine, Clem Smiler Hemmingway, which he thoroughly enjoyed. "It's got such charm," he said of the show. "I don't think any other country in the world has comedy like that." Stephan stepped down from Last of the Summer Wine because of ill health. Stephan Lewis remained a committed socialist. In a stroke of irony, however, in 1981, he was hired to promote CH Coaches as the character Blakey. It was the first private bus company to break into the public transport monopoly of Cardiff City Council. This was exactly the kind of Thatcherite revolutionary of which Blakey would probably have approved. In his diaries, Tony Benn recalled campaigning with Lewis in 1984, describing him as direct and extremely amusing. Stephan lived until the age of 88. Now we're almost here. I'm at the spot because I'm going to flick it round for you. It's a raised up section because I think there's 1,800 graves here and they've had to raise this section up to basically make more space for people. So we're here now. And today I want to thank Chris. Hello Chris, if you see the film. Absolutely lovely guy. He helped me out. He showed me 2 other significant graves and he visits his mother every day and his father and his brother's birthday. Thank you Chris. Okay, right, we're going to spin round and I'm going to take you in to see the grave live with me. And Chris told me recently his sister, who sadly died doing a nursing home together, has joined him. So it is a sad thing, but in a small way it's nice to have them back together. And this is it, we're here. I'm going to put my flower down. And there it is, look. There he is, Stephan Blakey Lewis. I like that. They've mentioned it on this grave, isn't that lovely? Let's move in. Hello Stephan, great to meet you mate. I've been watching On the Buses recently and you were one of the stars of the show for sure. You and Reg and Bob. Right, let's read the stone. Right, I'll get in there. It says, "In loving memory of Stephan Blakey Lewis, actor and writer. Born on the 17th of December 1926, he boarded the last bus to the cemetery gates on the 12th of August 2015. Greatly missed by his family and fans." Absolutely. Thank you Stephan. You were superb as Blakey and Smiler and all the other parts you played. That's lovely. I've been watching the comedies since I did Reg Varney's the other week. I did Reggie's by the way the other week. Yeah, and you always feel sad, don't you? I'm going to take my bag off and get my flower. Okay, it's over here. Let's go back and put the flower in. Here we go. This is the MotorHome Beat It flower. It's not real, I always say that, but don't like killing live flowers. And we're going to turn this round for Stephen. Here we go, Stephen. I'm going to put that in there. There we are, at the back of there. If I can see that. Yeah. Perfect. 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 If his sister is there, it's not named yet, but it probably will be. Ah, classic comedy. You take it with you, your life. I watched that when I was a kid, and I'm sure a lot of you did. You want to watch it again? It's on YouTube. It's good. And MotorHome Beep Beep. Thank you, Stephen. Thank you ever so much, my friend. Thank you. I always feel sad when I'm going. I don't know why. I always had that hesitance. I don't want to go, but well, another man who brought great happiness to our lives, and you know, you cannot take that away from him. Just think, I know it was his job, but he obviously loved it. He was a script writer, and you know, if you can, in your life, in your day, try and do things you want to do and that make you happy, because we're not here that long, and you know, we want to be happy. I love doing this. So thank you for watching. All of you have a great day out there, and do something you want to do. And don't forget, subscribe to the channel if you like the content, and ding the bell for future notifications, and the thumbs up and the comments. I love the comments, you know I do. So take care from me, Alan, at MotorHome Beep Beep. I'll see you all very soon. Bye.